Oh, welcome back to Margaritas in Paradise. Today I'm going to talk to you about scams. I'll tell you what, I look back from day one of me coming to Pattaya, Thailand, and when I started traveling all over Thailand, thinking about the different scams that I've encountered, and the things that I've been through, and the things that I've physically seen. Anyway, I'm going to go over those with you, tell you what to look for, how to avoid these, and see what you think. Let's press on. I'll tell you, one of the big things that worry me a lot about coming to Thailand, I can remember the first time I came to Pattaya, Thailand was in 2006. First time I came to Thailand was in 1987, but in 1987, I didn't even know what Pattaya was, but it was here. All right, I just didn't know. When I came here, I saw somebody out on the street, and they were flagging me down to get me to try to buy something or another. And right away, these were scammers. They were trying to take me out of money, trying to get me to put money down on a development that hadn't even started yet. We couldn't look at the property or anything like that because it was too far away or whatever, but they wanted my money, and that was for sure. And that's something that you want to avoid. I was walking on the street not too long ago. I was down on Beach Road, and these Indian guys came up to me, and they started talking about my weight in general, okay? And they said, their father has the same problem that I do, but he's found the perfect solution of what he needs. And fortunately, he knows, this guy, this Indian man, knows the shop to get this solution. So they try to get you to go to the shop. Actually, on our way to that shop, we stopped in 7-Eleven and bought a thing of honey. And so I had to pay for the honey, which I shouldn't have, but I did anyway because I wanted to see what this scam was. And we get over to the shop, and sure enough, they're putting some type of powder into the honey. They pour out half the honey and put this powder in the honey, and then they want 5,000 baht for this miracle weight loss thing. When I took out my camera and started taking pictures of their business license, and they immediately got upset. They're, oh, you can't do that. No. And of course, I was able to get out of there for the price of a bottle of honey. But anyway, that's the type of stuff that happens here. I ran into a guy that was sitting in Leo's bar, and he was counting up all these silver coins that he just bought. Now, I'll tell you what. There wasn't any silver in these coins, but they look good. And if you put a magnet on them, they probably stuck to the magnet with no problem. And they were like ancient Chinese coins of some sort or another. And the guy said that he only paid $10 a piece for them, and they were worth like $60 a piece or whatever, that type of stuff. And these coins weren't worth nothing, all right? They're all over town. People are selling these trinkets, souvenir coins, silver. There's even U.S. silver dollars that they're selling all over town that are just complete fakes. All right, so don't fall for that. When you're traveling in the jungles and that type of stuff, and there's guys standing out in the middle of the woods, and they're trying to sell their diamonds, their rough cut diamonds or whatever, and they'll have a thin piece of glass there that they're cutting the glass with the diamonds, all right? And they're trying to get as much money out of you as possible, but these are complete fakes. I've never, ever heard of anybody buying jewels in the forest, the underground, okay, and they turn out to be the real thing. Everybody gets ripped off on these, and tourists fall for these scams all the time. Don't fall for these scams. I don't know why, but it seems like there's an awful lot of Russian real estate agents here in Pattaya, Thailand. And I'm not sure if they're legit or not. I'm sure there's probably many legit real estate agents here in Thailand. But it seems like there's a lot of them that come from Russia, and there's always a problem. They get raided or things like that. I'll tell you what, if you want to be sure about a real estate agent, maybe you should ask for references or things like that. I would definitely make sure they have a lot of ties working in the businesses, and that they have references. People, maybe they have Google reviews or things like that you can kind of check out and follow up on them. Definitely be careful when you're spending big money. And that's another thing. Really, as a tourist, you shouldn't be spending anything that you can't physically put in to your suitcase and take home with you, okay? As a tourist, you don't need a car. You can't ship it back to the U.S. There's all these safety warnings and everything else on it. I don't care who tells you that you can do this, unless you have a container that you're going to put it in, and I don't know. Don't be buying this stuff. Don't fall for the mistruths that people are going to try to line you up on. All right, just don't do it. Don't buy something that you have to put a owner's manual in somebody else's name. Don't do it. Things like motorbikes, for instance, are so cheap to rent here. There's no reason why you shouldn't just rent it and then take it back before you leave. And then the next time you come here, and you're coming back. But anyway, the next time you come back here, you can rent it again. And you didn't have any insurance payments or maintenance to take care of or anything. Don't fall for those scams. Hey, if you haven't done so already, make sure to give me a big thumbs up that you're hitting that subscribe button. Hit the little bell next to it for future notifications of videos that are coming out. Then the last thing I want to mention to you is about the taxis. And this kind of falls into the scams as well, okay? Now, the easiest thing to do if you arrive at Bangkok BKK airport and you go down to I think it's level 1 to the taxi, it stands out there and you get a ticket. You want to ask the taxi driver whether he's going to use a meter or is it going to be a set price. More than likely it's a set price, all right? So the set price, if you're going down to downtown Bangkok, it shouldn't be any more than 1,000 baht. If you're going to Pattaya, it shouldn't be any more than 1,200 baht. And that's using the tollways getting around. That's all included. Some taxis will use the meter, and the meter more than likely is going to be quite a bit cheaper. I did take a taxi from BKK on the meter all the way down to Pattaya to my condo. It ended up costing me 600 baht. Pretty good deal. But it's going to be harder to find taxis that are actually going to use the meters. When you're at the airport, the last thing you want to do is be taken from the airport to a parking garage where you're going to be transferred into another car or a van. I've heard many times about these guys that they'll be transferred to a van and then they have to wait in this parking garage, let's say for an hour, for this van to fill up full of other people. You don't want anything part of that type of a scam, all right? There's plenty of places you can go. Like I say, you can take the buses for basically 143 baht, things like that. If you want to go that route, I still recommend taxis. It's so much easier to go from point A to point B, and you don't have to move around your luggage and things like that. But look it up. Now, another thing, you don't like the taxi situation there, you can always use Grab or Bolt. Well, I have a link in the description below for that. Download those apps. Be prepared to use them when you arrive in Thailand. It'll make life a lot easier, and it's a lot cheaper to go from point A to point B with those apps. All right, so there's a lot of other scams that's going on in Thailand and here in Pattaya. I didn't touch on things like the girls and things like that going into the beer bars and that, and girls getting you to buy drinks. The big scam, I think, anymore, maybe it's not a scam so much, but you know, having just drink girls, and they're girls that are only there to drink with you. And you don't know that until you figure it out. If you're interested in going in and you're meeting somebody in a bar, it's always good to ask them if they go with customers or not. Then, you know, instead of spending a lot of money on somebody that will not go with you, and it's an easy out for you if you decide whether you want to spend time with them or not, and press on to the next one. Right. That's all I have for you in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. A lot of things that we covered here. Make sure you're checking the description below for some money-saving links, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, bye-bye.